Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. I am your host, Mikhail Tinubu. Some of you are still probably suffering from bouts of depression today, but obviously last night was heavily disappointing for many Nigerians, no matter whether you are in Nigeria itself or in diaspora. I know I certainly hoped for better, and this day it's unfortunate. We haven't missed out on the World Cup since 2006, but it seems Nigeria will fail to go this time around. And I have with me Victor Godfrey to discuss all of the happenings yesterday.
Thank you so much for having me, Mukai Tunumbu. Like you said, people are having bouts of depression, and it's actually very sad, really. We should, if we dwell on it, we just keep getting sadder and angrier and sadder and angrier. So I think sooner we let go, the better.
I know for some who are probably watching the show today, this feels like rehashing a traumatic experience. PTSD is probably still something a lot of people are experiencing. No one, I don't think anyone, saw this coming. I think our hopes and expectations had been built up to such degrees that failure was not an option, not something we could perceive as a reality.
Yes, that's the truth. I think the team, in all reality, actually, to be honest with yourself, on paper, we should have beaten Ghana quite comfortably, both home and away. But like you mentioned, the expectation levels were so high, which is understandable. I mean, Nigeria is a big nation. Like you mentioned, we've not missed the World Cup since 2006. We've been there in 2010, 2014, and of course 2018. So it was because of the talent we have. I mean, so our players play in the best leagues in the world. And you expect us to really win actually, to be honest, a depleted Ghanaian team as well. So the expectation was very high yesterday, and of course, as we'll discuss, the fallout and reaction from the fans also played is a reflection of the frustration that we're all feeling right now. People may be calling for the head of the coach, some players as well who made individual errors, but the reality of the matter is that football actually is on the decline. We are just coasting through with incredible talent of individuals who play in Europe. We need to really work hard as a nation to ensure that we do the right things with our football.
Obviously, there was plenty of desire on the part of the Black Star players, but was there a shortage of desire for our players?
I don't think so. Because the reality of the matter is that most times we forget, actually, especially us in media and also football fans across the nation, that these players are actually fans as well. At one point, everybody has had a dream to be a professional football player, scoring the winning goal for your country or for your club that you support. Only a few get to live this dream. So these players are actually living their dream because I don't think you are forced into playing football. You have to love the game to play the game. So they are actually football fans as well. It wasn't lack of desire. The reality of the matter was just, one, I was just call this fate because the goal we considered was obviously an error from the goalkeeper. You can't.
I was going to touch on that.
There's no how. You can have the best coach in the world. You can't plan for that. Secondly, let's be honest. The tactical plan of the Ghanaians worked to a T. In the second half, it was a shutout. Mourinho would have been proud of that performance by the Ghanaians. So it wasn't lack of desire. It was just having desire, but not having the wherewithal.
It also felt to me that their goalkeeper, Wallacott, seemed to be on fire throughout the night. Even the one chance that I think we had in the second half from a cross in from a free kick, he seemed to be there with his full body. He jumped so high. And other than his presence in that moment, it would have been a certain goal. Do you think that overall, sure, there were tactical setups from the Ghanaians that stifled our progress in the second half, but did individual performances on the part of the Ghanaians, did it seem to come up a level to match everything that we were expecting our players to show?
Yes, you can argue and say that one individual, exactly someone we haven't seen right now, Thomas Partey, So most Partey brought the party back to Ghana.
Mm.
Yes, Partey was actually, when it comes to an individual performance, was one of the best performances we had. And like you mentioned, individually, in this kind of moments, you psych yourself up. I know and trust me, I don't think it's a lack of desire. The players were really psyched up for this. It just got to a point whereby they were frustrated. I mean, Victor Osimhen was very frustrated in that match. And let's be honest, the absence in the midfield area for us was a massive issue. I mean, we now realize how important Didi is for the national team because in the two legs, we had no presence in the midfield. That's the honest truth. We watched that game; it was just long balls. We couldn't play it from the back into the middle of the park, then to the attacking third. So then also to come to the goalkeeper, you mentioned something. Yes, he was in fantastic form, even from the first leg. There's a save he made from Moses Simon, a close one-on-one save that he made, and if Simon had scored that goal, we'd be in a different situation right now. Also in Abuja, he was fantastic. He was in what you call fine form, and you expect. And the funny thing is that he doesn't even keep in the top league in Europe. I think he keeps in the third tier of English football or the Championship. I can't really remember which.
What did you make of
top level goalkeeper?
What did you make of the coach Augustin Eguavon's selections from all the way from the first leg to this one, picking Demola Lookman to start in the first leg, and the choices he made in tactics in this time around, given that a lot of the people who supported Eguavon taking this tie before stepping down from the role as coach argue that he knows the team, he knows the players, and he knows the philosophy that Nigeria want to play historically has worked for us. What do you make of the decisions he made over both ties?
Okay, just to touch on that philosophy you mentioned, I know the birth of modern football in terms of the likes of Johan Cruyff and Pep Guardiola has created this football philosophy and our way. Let's quite be honest with ourselves. Even in the golden era of the 90s, I'll call the silver age of Nigerian football the 80s, we really didn't have a philosophy of play. We just had very talented individuals that rose to the occasion. And people might say, what are you talking about? What are you saying? That's the truth. You can say, we play from the wings. Nah, we had just very talented players from the likes of Shegun Odegbami down to Okocha and the rest of them, those generations of players. So when they say philosophy, I'm like, no, it's just players stepping up to the plate. But that's aside. As for Eguavon's tactics, the reality of the matter is as much as we gave Ghana Rolf so much flack for his choices and his changes he made in the game, Raw actually got results. We qualified for the World Cup with him. But you can't argue that. As for Eguavon, we've had so much faith in him. He did well at the Nations Cup in terms of the group stages, but then again, individual errors and then not knowing what to do when we concede a goal and how to break teams down is still mind-boggling, especially a team that is. I'm not about playing against Equatorial Guinea or Sudan or some lesser team. I mean, a team like Ghana that is also up there, top-level team. And we couldn't break them down. So I won't blame him, but he's also responsible. Like you mentioned, Ademola Lookman's start in the second leg was not a bad idea. I mean, he got us the penalty. However, after a point, if you see if you saw us play yesterday, the players lacked an idea of what to do next. Once the ball got to the middle of the park or to the wing or to the wide area, we were like, okay, there was nobody in the center of the midfield to actually dictate the game. Aribo was just, I don't know where he was. Etebo had a horrible game yesterday, let's be honest. So as much as we can blame the coach, I still feel the blame goes onto the players as well. And the reality of the matter is we need to now work on our team in terms that if certain key players are out of it, we have to step up. Iheanacho played in the first leg, but most people will never remember he played in the first leg because he was nowhere to be found in that first leg.
All right, Victor, please, let's take one final question on this.
Okay.
I want to take a more broad look at what this means for the Nigerian national team going forward. The lot of clamoring that went on into trying to keep Eguavon in the seat as coach after what many perceived as a successful performance during the Nations Cup. I think now that the ministry, the NFF, they both chose to keep Eguavon in the seat, possibly to just pacify and get through these stages. Once this was done, it would have been time to allow the new manager to step into the role. But having lost now, do you think that this has given them some, I don't know, escape routes from criticism? Because they basically just succumbed to what everyone wanted. And does this offer us as a nation a chance to build for the next tournament with a manager who has European experience and potentially could help us build a proper project?
I'm very glad you mentioned that. I'm just going to turn to the English national team. Minus the media frenzy and the hype that surrounds England as a nation when it comes to football, they made a plan from I think it was 2010 or 2014 when they had a very, very poor performance at the World Cup. And they said, okay, they want to build for the future. And it took them time. And if you've seen the way the English national, I'm using them because they're the most recent team to apply this, and you can see the success. They won the Under-17 World Cup, won the Under-20 World Cup. Most of these players progressed on the 21. They now play for the Three Lions. And in the last two major tournaments, the World Cup in 2018 and the European Championships last year, they have been fantastic. Semi-final and the final place. That is because they decided to build slowly and gradually. And they used an Englishman in Gareth Southgate, who, quite frankly, before now, nobody would rate him as a top manager. Now, when you say they yielded to what the people were clamoring about, you can't argue against results. Yes, Eguavoen, you can say, okay, has he coached in a big European team? But me, personally, I still believe you used to still have a Nigerian, because let's be honest with ourselves, there's a Nigerian way of doing things. We know how it is. We have Nigerian time, self. So there are certain things that in the politics behind the scenes that we don't even know of that happens with the national team and selection and with the ministry and the federation and all that whole stuff. So I still feel like Nigeria should be in charge. Some of our greatest, exploits in the last decade has been with a Nigerian coach. His name, the late great Stephen Keshi, winning the Nations Cup, qualifying us for the World Cup as well in 2014. So I still think he should still be there. However, the biggest issue that Eguavoen has had so far with the national team is just individual errors. And as fate will have it, both came from the goalkeeper, the goalkeeping department. Maduka Okoya's blunder in the Nations Cup against Tunisia, and Uzor's blunder just recently yesterday in the World Cup qualifier. So you can't really blame the coach per se and say, well, he didn't get the tactics right. Yes, he's to blame, but most of the issues we've had is just individual errors from the players that you expect to perform better. So I still feel he should still be there. Now, as for the federation, we need to now focus on our football from every level. We talk. I'm tired of saying the term grassroots because we use that term so much in Nigerian media, but I'll use it for this purpose. From the grassroots all the way to top level. Victor Osimhen, who is our top striker right now, started out as under 17. Same thing here, Nacho, and a few other players. We have to develop the lower leagues, the national league as well, the professional league as well. We need to start giving our own football the room to grow. We have to now invest. It's not just about having endorsement deals from big corporate brands for the national team. Because I can assure you, if you are qualified for the World Cup, it will have been another massive brand parade. But to an extent, it can be a blessing in disguise because we can now develop our football properly, like the way England did. England is just a more recent example of a team that decided to step down from all the hype and frenzy and focus on the football. And mind you, England now is a top-level team. This World Cup coming up, they will do well. They beat Germany at the European Championship. They beat a top team like Germany. So I think Eguavoen should still say my own opinion because he's a Nigerian and understands football. And if you watch his setup, he wants to play good football, but doesn't have the players to do so. But we can develop all these guys and give it a long-term project. It might not be the next World Cup. It might even be the upper World Cup in 2030. It's okay, Victor, let us build towards that.
Let's now look at another team, another matchup that was so significant last night. Sadio Mane delivered the winning spot kick as Senegal edged Egypt 3-1 on penalties at the end of a tempestuous World Cup playoff second leg in Dakar on Tuesday, March 29th, to win a place at the finals in Qatar later this year. Boulaye Dia scored in the 4th minute as Senegal won the second leg 1-0 for a 1-1 aggregate draw at the new Diamania Dio Olympic Stadium, which was packed with a capacity crowd of 50,000 hours before kickoff. The nerve-filled shootout started with 4 misses, including from both captains. Kaludi Koulibaly, and then Mohamed Salah. But Mane won the shootout, reprising his heroics in last month's Africa's Cup of Nations final. Egypt had netted a fourth-minute goal last Friday in the first leg in Cairo, but that advantage was quickly eroded on Tuesday. Let's play the track and see what that match looked like.
Almost feels like the World Cup is here already. This is knockout football at its very best. The champions of Africa against the team they beat to win their first title. What can they do here? In it comes then, towards a goal, and it's a chance and in! And exactly the same minute that Senegal went behind in the first leg, they have come back to level it up in the second through Boulaye Dia. Dizo is trying to come back inside. Chance! Well, that's two chances he's had since he came on. Sadio Mane, could be a chance. Ismaila Sarr is wide. Full time at the end of the 90 minutes here at the Stade May Mbalaye Wade, and we are heading for extra time. They've qualified for the World Cup one more time than Senegal. In it comes from Idrissa Gueye, and there's the chance for Cisse! And this time it does provoke the save from Mohamed El Shanawi. Forward by Sis. Nice ball, Sadio Mane's onto it, Yasser Ibrahim in front of him once more. Takes him on again, beats him again, surely! El Shanawi saves it! And after the final of the Africa Cup of Nations, that went all the way to the end, into the shootout, qualification for the World Cup is going to go the same way. Salah then, against Mendy, and he's missed it! How cool and calm and collected is he? Sadio Mane sends Senegal to the World Cup for the third time in their history, and the first time they've done it back-to-back.
Senegal have now stood in the way of Egypt twice in just 2 months from achieving something of substance. Winning the Africa Cup of Nations and now going to the World Cup in Qatar. Salah's opportunity to truly represent his nation and bring success seems to have gone, don't you think?
Yeah, it's very, very sad, but we can empathize with the Egyptians because we know what that feels like. You know, we've lost
Yes, we do.
on penalty of the Nations Cup as well, and we also didn't qualify for the World Cup, so we're in the same boat. But in all seriousness, though, the reality of the matter is that this shows you the passion of football. Like we just mentioned, you know, you are actually questioning the resolve of the national team, the Super Eagles. But if you see those highlights, I mean, if we played half like that, I'm pretty sure we're beating Ghana 3-0. So you can see Senegal, the passion that they had. They really wanted to go to the World Cup, and that very beautiful, magnificent stadium they just built looks amazing. And kudos to them. For Salah, unfortunately, I think his only success may only come at club level because he was at the last World Cup, but he was injured and really couldn't play for Egypt, and he didn't even do so well. The Nations Cup, of course, they lost out on penalties, and now again his club teammate and his, I'm sure, friend Mane has denied them another chance to represent Egypt at the World Cup. So sad for the Egyptians, but I'm pretty sure in Senegal, in Dakar right now, everybody's having a good morning, and they're still celebrating from last night.
For one last story, Victor, for the fifth time, both Ronaldo and Lionel Messi will feature at the World Cup. It will be, I think, the last opportunity for either of these two giants of the game to make a mark and potentially win the tournament. Argentina have come closer than Portugal in recent years. Remember 2014 when Argentina go all the way to the finals. What do you expect, given the level of performance that both of these players are having this season? Ronaldo is obviously doing much better than Messi. Portugal for years were accused of relying so heavily on Ronaldo, but the team seems to be more well-rounded now. Is this the opportunity for Ronaldo to come closest to winning the competition?
Well, as much as we have Barca and Man U fans who love Ronaldo, or even Madrid fans who love, Ronaldo and Messi, I'm going to disappoint them by saying that neither Argentina nor Portugal are going to win the World Cup this year. That's my prediction. That's number one. Number two is we seem to forget that these guys are actually past their physical prime in terms of being a football player. I mean, Ronaldo is 37, Messi is not far behind. And if they're even having what we call, I mean, to us, this below standard, but that's basically normal numbers. Like if certain strikers in world football have those numbers that Messi and Ronaldo have now, they'll be very happy because they've had such an incredible level. They've been at such a high level for the last 10, 12 years, which is remarkable. Um, like you just mentioned, Portugal have a better team than Argentina actually, and they actually play better in terms of that their style of play rather than the Argentines who may switch it on today and then switch off tomorrow. They're not really as cohesive as they've been in the past. So if you're going to put your money on anybody, I think you put your money on Portugal being a better team going forward. However, I don't think Ronaldo and or Messi is going to turn the tournament alive. They're not going to be the star players of the World Cup. That's the honest truth. You have other countries. I mean, the favorites are still there. In my opinion, there are only three teams that can win this World Cup: France, Germany, and England. The rest are just playing second fiddle in my own point of view. And also to add, for the fans who are perhaps watching this, they should be very happy that they won't get to be drawn with Nigeria again. So that's their luck.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us on Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa.
A pleasure.
Oh, it's been a while, and I know we've missed you. We hope to get you back again very soon.
For sure, for sure.
And to everyone at home or at work, it's always a pleasure having you join us and choose Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa for your choice of destination for all your sports news needs. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. As always, I say to you, life is never boring with some sports. Have a wonderful day.